Hello again, soccer fans. We are back at you with another installment of the Lower League eCup Xbox Premier Division Group D action brought to you by Touchline Marketing. My name is John Bisworm, one of the founders of Minneapolis City Soccer Club and co-host of the People's Pitch podcast, the official podcast of Minneapolis City. Joining me on this fine winter evening is our own version of Harry Carey, my podcast co-host, and the professionally amateur voice of Minneapolis City Game Day, the Nate Morales. Nate, are you ready for week 2, match 2 of the 2021 Lower League eCup? Are you as ludicrously excited as I am to cover eSoccer this week?
Norm, the Lower League eCup action is in full swing. That's right, John. And the excitement level is so high. It feels like we're back for the first time, man. It's like last week was a nice warm-up run, but now I'm ready to party, dude. I don't know about you.
I'm ready to go, man.
This year's sponsor of our tomfoolery needs a quick mention. They are our old pals at Stimulus Athletic Wear. Whether you're looking for idea starters or you've already got that custom design for your organization, Stimulus Athletic has everything you need. No minimum orders, quick turnaround times, really good, reasonable prices. To learn more, make sure you're heading over to StimulusAthletic.com. Stimulus, John, the freedom to create. John, this year's Lower League eCup finds over 124 American lower league clubs participating in it. All of our clubs that are participating in the eCup reside in the 3rd division or lower. And while we're concerned with our corner of the universe, the Xbox One division, there's also PlayStation and PC divisions that are happening concurrently. There is so much damn eSoccer right now, and it's all thanks to the Lower League eCup putting it on this tournament. It's great. This year, each division as well has its own premier division. So these are like the real ballers, as well as the 2nd division players, probably like you and me, maybe those less inclined to get their butts kicked by guys like Max, someone that just wants to have a little fun and compete at a fairly decent level. So I hope there aren't any glory chasers down there in that 2nd division trying to slum it and get some kudos. That would be not cool for them to destroy people who are in there just to have a good time and to compete. All matches, John, are streamed live on Twitch starting earlier last week, I should say, running through however long it's going to take to get the games done. Could be a month. I don't even know. There's so many games, and there's going to be
no clue.
There's going to be so much happening. This year's tournament is made up of 3 group stage matches. It's about 1 match per week, and then the knockout stages follow. So I'm not sure if that's a round of 16 followed by an Elite 8, followed by, quarterfinal, semifinal, final situation. I haven't quite looked at the bracket. I'm just focused on what's in front of me, and what's in front of me is a kick-ass matchup. But make sure you're checking out at Lower League eCup on Twitter, because they're going to have a new weekly podcast that breaks down the coverage, and also daily results as some of the higher profile matches complete. They have graphics for all that, and you can stay abreast of all your favorite lower league competitors. This year, John, every team has been evened out to an 85 overall rating, which is pretty much the same as last time, but instead of them getting bumped to 85, because a lot of the teams last year were 2nd division teams, this year all the teams are very, very good. You're talking your top tier Champions League clubs, so they're kind of getting dropped to 85 overall rating, every player. So every match is really a true battle of wits and sticks, player versus player, everything really happening, both of course electronically, but also in the theater of the mind.
This year's challenger for Minneapolis City is midfielder and captain Max Stigmore, who personally told me that FIFA is his release therapy. So who is Max, you might say? Max has played FIFA since 2008. He's a competitive Ultimate Team player since 2018, and he ended 2019 in the Elite Top 100. So he knows exactly what he's doing on the sticks, folks. And he's recently switched, though, from PlayStation 4 to Xbox One this year. And he talked to you a little bit about that, Nate.
Yeah, Xbox has faster servers. I think it's more consistent for the competitive player. They're not worried about lag as much, which can definitely hurt your game. So for the guys that want to compete at a super high level and are looking for high performance challenges, then I guess the Xbox is by like nanoseconds the platform to the platform to be on, but that's some technical shit, John.
That is. But hey, we heard it from the word of mouth.
If you tuned in last week, we saw Max put on an absolute show in his first ever eCup match, downing our old foes, Minneapolis City's old foes, Oakland County, 7-0, with a strategy that for the layperson could be just considered full gas mode, all out attack. This week, he's going to take on an in-state team, the MASL's own Dynamo St. Cloud. St. Cloud right up Highway 94 from Minneapolis, St. Paul. It's the second match of the group. And these guys, Dynamo, fell to group leaders Lansing Common, and they've got a game in hand on Max. They fell 5-1 against Lansing Common, who Max will be playing next week. So this is going to be a good litmus test to see what we can expect next in our next match against Lansing. If Max can walk all over St. Cloud similarly, or even to a greater degree than Lansing did, I think we might be in good shape next week. Last week, John, we watched Max pilot PSG to the victory, and what did we see out of that?
Well, I mean, we saw him, realistically, just like we said, full gas mode with extremely skilled players. But you took a spin through who PSG is, and and you found some interesting things that we'd like to share today.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it last week that PSG was a great choice for Max because of the type of player that he is. As you can see, of course, the attack of PSG is super, super impressive. You've got Neymar, Mbappe, Icardi, Di Maria. On the bench, you've got multiple 80 and 80 plus ranked players, both on offense and defense. But in a match like this, where everything's nerfed to 85, having a guy that's 88 or 91 on your squad really isn't that great. The difference maker, John, is going to be player by player skill moves and weak foot. And this is where Max and Jonah both have identified that the real competitors look to break away from the pack. You can see right here, Neymar, 5-star skill moves and a 5-star weak foot. That's going to mean that he's got a bevy of moves that Max can unleash on his opponent, including the rainbow into a volley, into a juggle, into a volley goal that we saw last week that was so impressive. The other great thing is the 5-star weak foot, which means that he's going to be dangerous from all over the field. He doesn't have to only make sure to strike the ball with his right foot. Neymar is just as dangerous with his left foot. So for a player like Max, 5-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot, this is going to be your most dangerous player on the field. And the thing with Neymar and with Max's formation is that he can set him up to free roam, so he doesn't have to only be on the left. He can probably maraud all over midfield, and I think that's what we saw Max do last week. Of course, Mbappe, another 5-star skill move player, one of the fastest players in the game, but that's of course going to be nerfed as well, so not as easy to rely on. So you have to find those differentiators. And again, when you've got a striker, when you've got a target man with 5-star skill moves that you can pull off rainbows, pull off juggles, pull off any sort of dribbling tricks that you want, and a 4-star weak foot, that's great. I'm willing to bet Icardi's going to go to the bench. I don't think Max is going to start him. Di Maria, on the other hand, another 5-star skill move player, Max is going to want to keep out there. So I would say across the front line, we've got Neymar, Mbappe, and Di Maria, all with 5-star skill moves or high weak foot ratings. That's just super dangerous, right? That anytime Max is in possession in the attacking third with any of these three players, he can do anything with them. Of course, dropping into midfield, you're going to have guys like Pereira, who's going to be fine. I think your 3-star skill move is fine. Verratti is nice to have back there because he's super versatile. He'll be able to defend, and if he does find himself forward, that 4-star skill move, 4-star weak foot rating is going to help him out. As we look at defense, not necessarily that important, but you've got Gazawa, Marquinhos anchoring that back line, for Florenzi out there on the right. Solid back line, but again, everyone's nerfed up. So up or down. So the difference maker is really going to be how can you use the tools at your disposal. Sarabia on the bench with 4-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot is a nice option. And I believe that Draxler as well, 4-star skill moves and a 5-star weak foot. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players that are super dangerous, 7 players, that can be interchangeable and super dangerous on the attack, led by those 3, Neymar, Mbappe, and Di Maria. I think what we saw last week was that Max moved Neymar into the middle. So while I had predicted that perhaps Draxler would be his chosen attacking midfielder due to those skill moves and weak foot, Neymar is going to scoot in to the middle and be super dangerous and free roam all across the attacking third. So really exciting, John, for really great for Max, and this is the perfect team for him to have picked this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we look ahead to the match tonight, we showed the tools that he has at his disposal, but there's a couple keys to victory, and one of them is keeping up with the attack. What do you think about that, Nate?
Yeah, I mean, he needs to keep his pedal to the metal. Attack needs to be 100%. So it looks like we're starting about 3 minutes early, John, which is fine. I think we can keep going with the keys to victory. You can see Max as PSG going up against Dynamo St. Cloud as Liverpool. Liverpool known in FIFA for really great defense and some pretty solid attacking players in Salah and Firmino. But that doesn't matter for Max.
He's already on the board, folks. And as sweet tasting as chicken and beer, Max slides one in the back of the net. But what we want to talk about from a keys of victory tonight is fast fingers. We were told that the dragonfly is the fastest insect in the world and covering around 616 seconds or inches per second. And that would equate to a speed of 0.154 seconds if a dragonfly were to be using an Xbox controller and covering a 4-button combination, which we know is how most of the skill moves work on FIFA. So we went to the tail of the math, and we found out that Max actually clocks in at 0.956 seconds per 4-button combination. So he's not as fast as a dragonfly. However, he is extremely fast. So that basically equates to the fact that he is able to, less than a second, quickly switch his brain from what move he wants into execution. And that really means nothing except for the fact, if you're one of the defenders trying to stop him, is pretty damn quick, wouldn't you say?
Amazing calculus, John, by the way.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed that. I agree. The third key to victory tonight, Max needs to continue to make a statement. With Lansing Common coming up next, potentially the biggest competition he's going to face in the group stage. He wants to make sure that Lansing knows that Max is not messing around, and he can make sure of that by crushing this Dynamo St. Cloud team. I will say, so far, Dynamo playing decent defense, except for allowing that very early goal within seconds of the beginning of the match. Much better than our Oakland County friend.
But much like last season we saw with Jonah, Max is very good at keeping the ball in his offensive third. I mean, as I say that, Liverpool's on the attack here, but in most instances, he's stifling an attack. Nice chance there by Liverpool out the header. But in most instances, he's putting and applying the defensive pressure higher in the offensive third, which ultimately gives him more chances on target.
Absolutely. The Dynamo team using Liverpool does have some threatening attackers. Of course, you've got Sadio Mane, you're looking at Mohamed Salah and Roberto Firmino. So very dangerous no matter how you slice it. And it looks like he can use them, right? Here's Max maintaining some possession and trying to break down that back line, which looks really well organized.
Well, I mean, any back line that has boring James Milner in it is just a hard back line to break down.
Max should be familiar playing against the likes of Virgil van Dijk and potentially Joe Gomez. I'm not really sure who's out there, but those are two really highly used players in this Ultimate Team meta. And I know you love talking about the meta, John.
It's all about the meta, isn't it?
You know it. That's a tackle from behind.
That's a bad foul.
This could be Fabinho leaving.
That was straight from behind. That's cheating. You can't do that. I mean, I've seen
just a yellow card.
I've seen lesser tackles in the red light district that got a red card.
Oh, thanks for the clarification in the chat. We've got Van Dijk and Fabinho as the center back pair here in this match. Fabinho now on a yellow, so not good.
Yeah,
I will say, if you want to defend against Max, maybe you
never so popular skill move out of bounds, folks.
Just a giveaway.
I hate when that happens, when you're trying to pull off a move and you dribble right out of bounds. But Liverpool has stood up to the test as far as defensively. I mean, it was already 3-0 by this time going into the game.
Oh, trying the rainbow. Trying to get funky there. Yeah, I agree. I think Dynamo is doing a much better job than Oakland County at this point in the game. Max came out very early, and there's another one. There we go. Just as I was talking about how much better Dynamo's doing on defense, Max is able to put it in. Another goal from Mbappe.
Max tells me he's pretty good at putting it in.
Nothing fancy about that one, John. Just great possession in the attacking third, finding a man with an open shot.
And I forgot to say, drink a beer, folks. Support a sponsor. Drink Summit beer.
That's right. I'm gonna have a quick sip right now. Mm-hmm.
Another fury of cutbacks.
Excellent possession, trying to lay it off, but he was offside. That's too bad.
That's cheating, Max. You can't do that. The one thing that we saw last week that Max is doing, a lot of on-the-fly tactical adjustments. I couldn't quite see what he just did there, but you had noted it last week that he, whether he's switching from offside trap on and off, or were there any other ones that you saw, Nate, that he might be deploying?
Yeah, I mean, the most common one that has been used and abused quite frequently is just the team press. You can turn that on, and for about 15 to 20 seconds, your team is going to go all out defensively and try to regain possession. But Max is a little more advanced. I mean, he is able to on the fly turn that offside trap on, which we saw him do a couple times in the last game.
He just did it right there.
Yep, which is something that you don't see a lot except at some of the higher competitive levels. It's just one of those things that's really hard to time.
When you're almost as quick as a dragonfly, I guess you can do that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, if you screw that up, your opponent is all alone, one-on-one with the keeper. So it really takes practice and quick fingers. Max trying for the able to maintain possession. That was some fancy footwork, and it pays off.
3-0. Good first half. Speaking to our talking points, he's definitely continuing to make a statement as well as keeping the attack down, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like for Matt, it is.
Ooh, that's another foul.
Ooh. Oh, that's an interesting free kick strategy. Is it going to pay off? That is a ridiculous rainbow.
Oh man, that's a rage quit insider right there.
That is one of the most well executed rainbows I've ever seen, John.
That's how you end a half right there.
What a statement to end that first half. That's right. Partly because when you think about the distance that he got on that, usually if you try to pull a rainbow off, maybe you pop it up in the air and you don't get a lot of forward motion on it, but he was able to literally rainbow across a full defender, leaving him in the dirt, and he had to chase that ball down in order to put that into the net. So that was great.
Something from the training ground, right?
Yep. So you see the formation that Max is using right now. He's got a 4-4-2 where he's got Neymar and Mbappe across the top. And I wish we could go back because it looked like Di Maria and one of his other players is out on the wings. So definitely holding a defensive or an offensive formation here, able to bring 6 to 7 guys at a time forward.
I mean, Liverpool has a good defense, but I mean, it's kind of tough when you're matching up with 6 guys with the weak foot ability, the skill move ability, and the speed, even though it's nerfed, it's still tough because everyone's coming at you at the same time.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Max was looking for, right? How can he make as many of his players dangerous in this equalized environment as possible? One of the things that we'd like to see a little more out of Dynamo to make this interesting is a maintained
scoring a goal
in that attacking third. I was going to say, like, they were dangerous early, but Max seems to have adjusted fairly quickly.
Yeah, that header going in could have really changed the landscape. Well, there we go.
And there we go. Dynamo answers.
They're on the board.
Start of the second half. Very well done.
And for note, if you hadn't joined us in the beginning, we did talk about the fact that that the game against Lansing, who leads the division right now with a game in hand, was 5-1. So definitely within the reaches right now of Max. But again, Dynamo is threatening again.
Max suddenly having to play defense a couple possessions in a row. User in the chat with the quick eyes, the eagle eyes, noted
what's going to happen here? What's going to happen here?
That's well done.
Yeah, good defense.
Noting that Henderson is off, Jota is on for Liverpool, for Dynamo, so he's definitely in a more offensive stance here, and it paid off early. I'll tell you what, John, when you're 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 and you are controlling the goalkeeper, nothing is scarier. And excellent tackle.
One thing I'm noticing that Max is doing on the defensive end is he's not controlling the on-the-ball defender. Have you noticed that? He's picking a guy who's the likely candidate to defend the pass.
Yes.
We'll probably see that again once we dive back into defensive action.
Yeah, that's a good call, and that's something that's pretty universal in this in FIFA. You're gonna see a lot of players counting on the AI to defend on the ball and picking their player of choice to be able to adjust on the fly, right? Rather than constantly selecting the guy that's like maybe 1 or 2 steps behind where the ball is going.
Good tackle. You would have liked to see that go in, that 1-on-1. That was, yeah. You'd bet the farm on Max to score that one. A lot of dancing in the box. Maybe take a shot, Max.
There we go. Come on. I was going to say the same thing. There we go. Max responding with a shot, 5-1 now. And I agree, John. I think a friend in the chat noting that should be 8-1. I think Max is doing a lot more possessing than he was in the game before. We saw a lot faster buildup last game against Oakland. I think Max is relying more on his skill moves, practicing them. But so far, it's not hurting.
Well, don't the top 2 teams in the division move forward? Is that true?
They do.
So much like what Jonah did in the 2020 eCup, maybe he's working on some things with a comfortable lead for when he might need it in the future.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, nice finish.
Ooh. Yep. Liverpool.
And we're at 5-2.
Cloud. Not letting Max sleep on this victory, making Max work for it, which is admirable.
Something Oakland County didn't do.
That's true. That's true.
He didn't really have to work for anything except for that rainbow. That was pretty impressive.
That is true. And one thing that's been nice is we've been along for the ride with this lower league eCup, both this year and last year in early summer, is that the competition from all the lower league teams has been really, really good. It's been really cool to see this level of participation. In this esports game and in the esports community, it definitely is a male focused audience. So one of these times, it would be nice to see maybe get a little more female participation, perhaps a battle of the sexes.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. That would be fantastic. I think, one thing too, and we're going to try to get Max on after this to talk about the first 2 games and his involvement in the cup. One thing that I think that would be good to maybe connect with him on is really understanding. Is he messing around to act a fool and knows he's going to win, or is he actually trying to hone some skills versus this audience? Like right there.
Yeah.
Like
that seems seems exactly like, I think Max got mad. That second goal did not make Max happy, and now he's trying to put this away and make no doubt about it that he was definitely kind of on cruise control for this game. Nice for him to show us kind of what he's got.
Yeah, I don't think that scoring goals is going to be Max's problem in this tournament. I think it's going to be defending. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. That transitioning from the attack, especially the way Max has his team tactics set up, coming back and defending against a player that can attack just as quickly is going to be the true test.
Yeah, I mean, now
maintaining possession, utilizing skill moves.
Oh, that could be naughty time. What color was that? Yellow?
That was a yellow. Going for another rainbow into a deep shot.
Off the guy's face, out for a throw-in.
No, that's the end of the game. That's a good way to finish, John.
That is it, folks. So we end the game at 5-2. Was that it? 6-2.
7-2. 7-2.
7-2. Man, yep. Where have I been?
7-2, and we made it through almost every Ludacris album, Easter egging it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to pay some bills and run an ad, and then we're going to try to get Max on. So stay with us, folks. We'll conclude this in a little bit, and then we'll talk to the man himself in a little bit.
John, we saw what Max has to offer, and we have all been able to see what Stimulus Athletic has to offer in the kit game ever since Minneapolis City started working with them 3 years ago. Dude, we have been blowing the doors off of the lower league soccer world with jerseys like the City of Lakes kit, the pink plaid lumberjack, more recently this Bowie-inspired lightning bolt, Minneapolis City 2 top, plus all of the kits for our Minneapolis City Futures program, all of them fire. All of them available in the Minneapolis City shop, but
all of them investable.
What's that?
All of them investable.
That's right. If you are if you are a lower league club and you're looking to really break out of the mold, you're looking to differentiate yourself both on the field and in the online world, you got to check out Stimulus Athletic. They have the perfect options for you, and some of those options could be from your own brain. So get started today. Head over to StimulusAthletic.com and start creating. Thank you to Stimulus Athletic. Freedom to create.
So as far as keys to victory go, Nate, we talked about the first one, which is keep with the attack. I would say you put up 7 goals. You check that off. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, one of those things that we were saying is you want to make sure to keep pedal to the metal, don't get caught sleeping, and that definitely happened. The fast fingers, John, were on display, though, weren't they?
Absolutely. I would say that he was not as quick as a dragonfly. However, we saw a few goals where there were some massive 4-button combinations.
Go ahead.
I mean, basically, the rainbow, off the tricky free kick, just some of the dancing he was doing to open up himself from defenders to make a crucial pass or to get a shot off. I thought overall displayed how quick Max can decision make and execute on a controller.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you watch it on screen, you don't realize how hard it is. You just see it kind of happen in the split second, and wow, that was an amazing spin move. Or he was able, the ball just kind of popped up, and it doesn't feel super intentional. But I'll tell you what, John, not only just pulling off one of those skill moves in a row,
it's so hard.
Just being able to pull off a rainbow consistently is hard enough. But the hard thing really, John, is to start chaining those skill moves, right? To go from, especially when you go from things like rainbow into a shot, but even just as you dribble, shifting the ball across the player's body, spinning and backing into a player and spinning out and maintaining possession, being able to shield the ball with your guy's body. All these things have to happen in the split second, and dragonfly fingers is probably the best way to describe how fast you really have to be, because that connection between what your fingers are doing and what your mind is asking them to do has to be lightning quick, and it takes a ton of time in the practice mode, which you love. You love practice mode.
I do love practice mode. I would say that Dragonfly Fingers is probably the best nickname that Max could get. And speaking of, we have the man on with us. Max, how are you doing, man? Congratulations on your second victory.
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good. You know, we just saw you put on a display of some nice work. But we do have some questions for you. You know, what are your thoughts? You're now 2 games into the tournament. How are you feeling, and what do you think of the tournament so far?
Yeah, it's super awesome stuff. Definitely feeling good. I think, you know, every game's different, especially ultimate team gameplay is a lot faster than you find on your just peer-to-peer connection or game-to-game. So that's, you know, just I really usually don't play friendlies or anything like that. So it kind of first game was getting used to that, and the gameplay is a lot slower. So you got to be a little more patient on your buildups and making sure those commands go through. But we're definitely feeling good going into finishing our second week here.
Max, you know, we saw it last week. We saw it this week. Your choice of PSG really seems to be paying off, especially when you consider your gameplay style. Was PSG a team that you were assigned, or were you able to choose it? And was it the skill move, weak foot, front line that was the deal maker for you?
Yeah, I think it was a mix of all those things. You know, Mbappe, Neymar, both being 5-star skills, as well as Di Maria. But having Neymar's 5-star weak foot, you know, I have Neymar and Mbappe on my ultimate team, so it's attackers I feel comfortable with. Mainly going off that, I think, you know, the defense, I feel confident in my kind of individual defending to go on it myself. During my game there, I was wrestling with my dog, so I was glad I went up a couple goals because I wasn't fully focused on defense towards the end, but I would have liked to kept the clean sheet competitively in myself.
Wow, dog wrestling, that's a new thing.
Yeah, but no, I definitely did choose PSG just because I'm familiar with the attacking players I have, and just that similarity of the 5-star skills and 5-star weak foots, you know, going to goal or taking guys on is definitely a key for my game.
Talk to us a little bit about your in-game tactical adjustments. That's something that we didn't really see with Jonah in last year's gameplay. It seems like you're able to quickly decipher between what you can do with those in-game tactics.
Yeah, I don't like my team sitting back. So like I heard Nate say a couple times, using that offside trap is really more just to push my team up the field. It really isn't to trap the other team. When I see teams kind of go backwards or play backwards, kind of like you would in real life, right? You want to take that space and eliminate those passing options. So that's what I like to do when I push those lines up. Haven't really had to use the team press much yet, and I hopefully don't have to for a longer time down this tournament, just because it does drain your player stamina quite a bit. Yeah. So hopefully that stays away. But the 4-4-2 right now seems to be part of the meta, just because if you have fast wingers or fast runners in behind, sending that Y through ball is pretty effective. So I think the first goal actually came from that today.
Yeah, and like you said, this tournament offers different gameplay just based on player to player, peer to peer than Ultimate Team does. So is that kind of what you're seeing, is based on some of the slower reaction times of the network and things like that you're able to, that you think the 4-4-2 is where it's at for now?
Yeah, and I think too, like an Ultimate Team, you can add those chemistry style cards that boost different abilities, right? So a lot of my players have 99 pace going into games, but in this game they don't, so you can definitely feel that in the players. So I think that's a big just change, again, used to it too, but we're doing pretty well, so we'll keep moving forward for sure.
Max, walk me through your free kick goal, because I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, where the kick taker pops the ball up basically to himself or to the secondary player making that run, and you're able to find space and score with that. Yeah,
absolutely. So that was actually an old FIFA 17 trick back then. Hold on one second. I'm actually entering my apartment building. It's going to be a little loud here.
Just playing FIFA in the lobby. I love it.
So no, that was actually in FIFA 17. It was a big kind of like cheat code that you would pop the ball up and just shoot it first time on a volley, and the ball would go in almost all the time. So going off that, I did like a fake going for the volley, drag his wall out a little bit, and then pass to Neymar. And then as they were all clumped together, I thought might as well go for the rainbow. So we went for the signature move.
We were talking about this, how the 4-button, 3-button combination skill moves are so incredibly hard to pull off, but you seem to be able to do them at ease, as well as even how hard a simple like dragging the ball across the defender's body is. Like, is that something you picked up throughout all your FIFA playing, or did you actually like hit some sort of practice on some of those?
Yeah, so I think honestly from after 18 or 19, just watching YouTube videos on what skills work and what don't, just kind of implementing those into my game as much as I can. I think that was a big takeaway back then, and just doing them for so many years now, because the skill moves and chains don't change. Just the kind of the gameplay of how they work change over the years. So this year you can finally kind of chain skill moves again. So that's been a fun element for sure.
Yeah, the last thing that I have for you before I kick it over to Nate, see if he has anything else, is that I noticed defensively you don't typically like to be the on-the-ball defender. You like to maybe pick the secondary defender where you think the pass is going to go. Talk to us a little bit about your defensive game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that this game is really important, just because the beating an AI player 1v1 is almost impossible, but the through balls are so powerful this game that I want to make sure that if they're about to play that through ball, I'm already a half step or a full step covering, the runner. So I like to switch into the passing lanes, either as to step out and anticipate a pass, or cover myself, back in the final third, especially if I'm going to play a higher line, just because those through balls are so important. But I always like to try to anticipate what I think the guy's going to do, and it definitely does cost you at times, but it can be very rewarding too.
Absolutely.
Max, going into next week, I think Monday is the game, right? Up against Lansing Common, competing for top of the group. And that means the all important first round bye. Yeah. So is that anything you're super concerned about? Have you been able to watch Lansing's gameplay at all? And what can you anticipate going to Monday? If you're even thinking about it yet at all?
Yeah, no, I truly haven't thought about it too much. Kind of just take every game as it comes. I won't be doing any scouting report just because I don't think I have to be honest. And that's not any sort of like negative comment towards my opponent or something. I'm just confident in the gameplay that I'm gonna come out with that I think will give me the best chance to win. So I think if I do too much research into it, I might psych myself out a bit. So I think we're just gonna go into Monday, with a confident head and hope to come out on top. But yeah, I'm very competitive, like John knows. So I think I want to come out on top of the group and have the best goal differential possible. So I think we're ready for it. I don't think
I know anyone who has a greater loves to win versus hates to lose scale than you.
No, I definitely hate to lose. So that is as much as I can. That is not an option for me.
Well, Max, great job tonight. Great game. And we look forward to watching you in action Monday night. Good luck against Lansing and good luck in the future of this tournament. I'm sure we'll be able to catch up with you again.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys having me on here. Make sure you drink a beer for me.
All right. Cheers, Max.
Oh, we're doing it.
See you guys.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Like we mentioned, we will catch you Monday night for the third group stage match. It's going to be Minneapolis City against Lansing Common. We will join the Lansing Common guys. They've got their own stream on their Twitch channel. We're going to combine forces for a post-game show as we get to talk about each other's clubs after the game, and we will kind of predict the outcome of the rest of the tournament once we've hashed out who gets the first round bye and who's going to be playing in the opening round of the playoffs. So once again, I have been Nate. That has been John. Thanks to our sponsors, Summit Brewing, Stimulus Athletic, and Twin Cities Orthopedic, who we should have mentioned when Fabinho tackled Max from behind. But we were too busy with the ludicrous references. So thank you so much to all of our subscribers and followers, and we will catch you on Monday.
You got hoofed.